Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Quality. I'm your co-host, Simon Tomes. I'm joined today by Judy Mosley, awesome human, awesome community person. It's lovely to co-host with you today, Judy. Before we have a little chit chat, I thought I'd welcome everyone who's listening today, joining us live, wherever you may be. And yeah, we hope you're okay. For some of us folks in Europe, it could be quite hot at the moment, particularly in the UK, that isn't quite prepared for this heat. So we hope that you are staying cool. Hope you're able to get some respite from the heat that exists right now. I got a couple of fans on the go. They're just blowing hot air on me, so it's not helping much. But there we go. So who have we got in the chat? So let's say hello to Helene, Gary, Rich, Louise, Pretty, Alexander. We've got Louise as well, Adam, and Adi. Oh, it's good to see you in the chat. So for folks who are joining us live, be aware of the code of conduct. That applies for the chat. And when you join the stage a little bit later on, you can come and join us. Get stuck in, share your week in quality, tell us what you've been up to, all of that good stuff. And hello to our listeners on the podcast. Grateful for you joining us. So Judy, how you been? Tell me about your week in quality. What's been happening?
Yeah, so this week in quality, I have been taking a bit of a break, just really kind of catching up on life as a whole. One thing I really enjoyed this week was sorry, my brain is glitching right now.
Yeah, so good, so good.
But I helped publish this month's Women in Testing post, and Tabney had like a really, really great article that I was excited about where she uses the probe method. And she talked about how, especially when testing non-deterministic systems, you can't, you have to change up your tests, but also, she pointed out open source tools for that. And it was just really helpful, very guided. It was a very guided post, which I find is a little lacking in the AI space. I kind of cringe when I see someone say, "Oh, well, ask Claude," and it's like I would love to hear from you. So it's trying to stay connected to the humans as much as possible, but also hearing from those in the field who are going for it and creating systems that all of us can follow. So yeah, I was really excited about that. And then I did hear, which Simon, maybe you can tell more about this, but there's dinners. There's something about MOT dinners happening,
Yeah.
and I need an MOT dinner, please.
Yeah, something we're trialing out. So we're partnering with some good organizations and setting up some dinners. So there's a couple of opportunities in London and in Brighton, limited to leaders in quality who are professional members. And then put themselves forward, join a dinner, different type of environment, have a conversation about all things quality. We're looking forward to actually something a bit different. I think in the past there's always been the odd informal dinner, like off the back of a conference such as Test Bash or MoTaverse now, or maybe like sometimes during a meetup. It can sometimes be in a place where people are around a dinner table or a table. So say Rich Adams, for example, who's in the chat right now, the Edinburgh chapter event can often be in the pub, just around a nice pub table. And it's just sort of sets a different vibe with different scenes. So folks can go check that out. If they head over to the events page, you'll be able to find that. Opportunities to grow that beyond the UK would be wonderful. So if folks are interested, then put the word out, spread the word, go and have a chat to organizations and see if they're up for kind of supporting that. So that's cool. But talking of other events, so last week we didn't have This Week in Quality, so apologies for that. But Team MoTaverse, we were busy in central London in a wonderful office. So we're in PwC's head office. It was mind-blowing. I was like, wow, this is super cool. Beautiful building, very welcoming, very well supported. They hosted the Leading with AI half day for our professional members. So it's first of a kind that we've run. We're looking to run more. But it was a great way to bring a whole bunch of people together on the topic of AI. And it wasn't like, hey, we're just going to sit back and just kind of let stuff accept all what's going on in the world of AI. It's like, how, as a bunch of professionals, can we lead? How can we influence? How can we take control? How can we remind ourselves that it is about humans? And that really was the key theme throughout the afternoon. Like, humans, 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 which reminds me of Developers, Developers, Developers by Steve Ballmer, Microsoft CEO. I think humans, humans, humans is the new developers, developers, developers. So, and the cool thing was, we ran an experiment. Rosie and I ran a session at the end. We encouraged everyone who attended to create a moment on the MoTaverse. So for those who aren't familiar, a moment is a way to blog. As a professional member, you get access to your own blogging platform within the MoTaverse. And everyone went for it. We had a whole wave of these moments appear. People would share their key learnings, key takeaways. There was nice sort of some theme overlaps as well. People calling out different things that perhaps others hadn't considered. They were reflecting on the conversations they had informally during like little breaks and stuff like that. So go check out, folks. If you go to ministryoftesting.com/moments, go back a few pages and you'll see a whole wave of stuff from that Leading with AI. So there's some really good stuff in there. It's kind of, there's optimism, there's also caution, there's also a sense of we're all in this together, trying to work our way through this. And it's complicated, it's scary, it's overwhelming. And it can, we don't need to be alone when it comes to what's happening in our industries. There's a real sense of that from that day. So it was really cool. It was good. And Pretty, who I can see is in the chat, did a wonderful talk. She introduced the GROW model.
Okay.
I won't want to give it away. Go check out some of those moments to get an insight. But actually, Pretty and I, we're going to record a call for insights to go into it in a bit more detail, which would be an awesome session to have with her. So yeah, that's been some good things happening in the MoTaverse.
Well, I know what I'm doing this morning, so I'm just gonna go read my moments.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and you touched on like the scary aspect, or really all the feelings that we're facing in AI. Well, in just I don't think it's just AI. I think technology as a whole is changing, like the culture is changing. But that's we can move on to that. Or was there anything else that you wanted to touch on before we dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in. I just wanted to do a call out to Ben Doan and Melissa Fisher, who ran a they ran a brilliant software testing live. It was all about risks, and we had open discussions about risks. We had this Miro board on the go. We were adding loads of post-it notes. It was really cool, really interactive session. Actually, it inspired me to write a moment this morning about risks. I found something I wrote back in 2017 that was still relevant. I'm like, wow, still feels relevant. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but it was just like, you do like a 5-minute challenge. You set a timer for 5 minutes, and you just write, a risk is, and then you keep finishing the sentence. And it's just a way of getting stuff out of your head about thinking about risks and what they are and what they mean. So if people are up for it, they can comment on that moment and just write out your thoughts on risk. Like, what is a risk? Why is it important? How does it help us? All of that stuff. So it was a nice, that was really triggered by what Ben and Melissa were sharing yesterday. It was a fun interactive session. We had this cookie delivery robot, a service, which is great. And we had to come up with risks related to that cookie delivery service. And it classically highlighted the power of a bunch of testing quality professionals being able to ask questions. And we asked so many questions, and like Ben and Melissa were leading the way. They were firing loads of questions at each other. We were asking questions in the chat, on the Miro board. And it just reminded us of, yes, we could get AI to help us do that. Yet we didn't need to. We got a load of us together. We go, oh, what about this? Or, oh, have we considered this? And it was just a way of helping really refine the requirements of this service. And it was a real powerful reminder that you get a bunch of people together with diverse backgrounds and you're going to come up with good stuff. And you know, that it was like, it wasn't human in the loop. It was just humans in a loop. You know? It was, we were just having a chat, and it was important. You know, we were bouncing off each other, and it was very powerful. So it's good reminder. Again, we'll come on to this topic about our concerns about AI and what we can do about those worries. But yesterday I had another wave of hope, given that we can collaborate with other professionals. So that was cool. So yeah, shout out to Ben and Melissa for running that session.
That sounds wonderful. And again, I've added that as a note. That's something I need to go back and because as a professional member, I can access that, right?
Yeah, well, actually, because Software Testing Live is a chapter, it's available to everyone in the community, regardless of your membership type. All our chapters are open to everyone. So whether that's an in-person chapter like location-based, or it's the AI chapter, the Software Testing Live chapter, quality engineering chapter, the mothers of the MoTaverse chapter, which is a new one, they are available to everyone, the entire community. You know, it's important that there are, you know, ways for people to get involved, even if they don't have a professional membership. So yeah, go check it out, folks. The Software Testing Live chapter. You can get access to all the previous sessions, and then this one will be available soon. But it's a great way of watching two quality professionals running a test session of some sort, different context, different kind of challenge. It's a great way to understand how others think about testing and quality. It's very cool.
Yeah. And I feel like that's really beneficial, because as a lone tester, that's kind of like the problem where you know how you test. But if it's just you, you don't have that other perspective, that other voice that says, what about, you know, have you thought of this? Have you tried this? You know, I'm curious about A, B, or C. And that's really, really refreshing. So yeah, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. It's like, they're really good sessions. Really, like, it's just great to see how we all think in different ways. It's very cool. It's very cool. Judy, so jumping into a bit of a topic and theme for today, but perhaps before we do that, there's lots of stuff happening in the chat. Should we take turns reading out some of the stuff?
Yes.
Where should we go back to?
Well, they're talking about the dinners.
Oh, yeah.
And how I think I did see, everything. 80 says that it's perfect with gravy. And then Richard Adams says everything is perfect with gravy, which I completely agree. So yeah, now I want dinner. But that's normal. Let's see. And then Alexander says, technology is changing at the speed of light. There is no point to learn specific libraries. AI will learn free libraries overnight.
Interesting, yeah.
And then he says, another thing that AI gives everybody for free is illusion of confidence. Shoot, we could have like an entire session.
Yeah, that's it. We're all experts instantly.
Yeah.
Dunning and Kruger are giggling somewhere nearby. That's brilliant. Nice reference to the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just jumping in, if I can, Judy, to mix things up. So 80 says, maybe not learn, but we need to understand things or risks will be missed. Yes, and then also 80 calling out I like the new top 10 links update. Oh, so yes, Rosie's been putting out, she's going to aim for putting out 10 links a week of stuff that's happening in the observatory. So the observatory is a place to bookmark all things happening in the world of tech outside of the MoTaverse, bring it into the MoTaverse, right? Every professional member can add a link. They can tag people so they get credit. Anyone who clicks on those links to your satellite will get a star if you added it, and the person who was also referenced will also get a star. It's just a way of saying thanks for sharing this information. So that's, yeah, so we're doubling down on reminding folks that that feature exists, and it's a good one because it's a great way to see what's going on in the world of tech and within the world of quality too.
Yep. Oh, and Gary says that he'd better blow the dust off of his blog. So yes, Gary, I agree.
Yes, Gary, pick up that fan that's in your room right now. point it at your blog and blast it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I love Gary's writing, and I always encourage him to go for it. It's just got so much good insight, and it is effort, right? I mean, Judy, you and I both love writing, and we know it takes time and practice. And I know from previous chats we've had, you've been writing for a very long time, and that's a skill you've developed over time, and you're very good at it. Like any skill, right? We just got to work at it and just keep on chipping away and finding our groove and being inspired by other people. So the more people that write in the MoTaverse, whether it's through a moment or your own blog or as an article, the more we can inspire each other to give it a go, and we can spot different styles and different approaches and be inspired by all of that stuff. So it's good to write.
Yes.
For many reasons.
Yes. I know I just feel better. Like, it's like if I don't write for a while, I used to, there's the advice of, find your audience or figure out who that one person is. And finally it was like, me. I'm writing for past me.
Yes.
Because I needed this, and possibly someone else may need this. So if I need it, that's enough.
I think also writing for future me as well.
Yes.
It's powerful. Like I found out the other day, I went back to my blog. I'm like, I forgot I wrote that. That's actually quite handy. So I reshared it again. I was like, oh yeah, completely forgot. Absolutely straight up forgot. I'd written something like that.
That is so true. I actually, because rebasing in Git has always been like, I've cried over rebases before. And I wrote just one tiny article because I kept on searching for the same thing like over and over, and I was like, I'm gonna write about it, and then I'm just gonna bookmark my own stuff because I know I'll need it.
It's brilliant.
So use your writing to make your life more efficient.
Definitely. I can see in the chat, always do things where you can be kind to your future self. Oh, that's great advice from Louise. Thank you, Louise Woodhams, for sharing that. And Gary says, I've written 3 blogs on my experience with AI. I only plan one. The other 2 are pure therapy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. And Alexander, we encourage you, Alexander. Yeah, I also went back to writing in my blog. Loving it. It's very cool, folks. For those who are out there writing right now. Talking about a bit of therapy, and I guess we can segue into our kind of theme for today. Should we do that, Judy? You seem up. I think we're both up for it. We're both going to jump on in. But we
got my coffee.
You got your coffee. Yeah. Got my mega bottle of water ready as well. So my voice starts to go in this funny air. But yeah, and we want to encourage people up on stage. So hopefully you should see a button, if it is working properly, above my head somewhere, maybe up here, that you can press to join the stage. That will get you backstage, and then we can invite you up on the stage to join the conversation. But other hand, Simon. Oh, is it here? Oh, brilliant! Because I think I must be seeing something different. I'll just do this.
Excellent. There you go. Somewhere.
Somewhere. Up here. I love it. This is the effect of videos on This Week in Quality, right? It's just this extra layer of risk.
Yes. We have no idea what we're doing.
Just working our way through it. So there was a kind of a thought you've been having, Judy, that's been going with you, and you've expressed it in a number of ways. And it was, I guess, from a conversation you heard between Rosie and Amy Phillips on an episode of Into the MoTaverse. So the concept of taking time to grieve. So yeah, if you can kind of set the scene and share your thoughts on that, then we can dive into things and see where we go.
Yeah, I think, for me, there's been a lot of layers. The way that, I mean, we've been hearing about AI for a while, and I've seen people adopt it. I am learning how to adopt it in different ways. But I think, when you're sitting in a meeting and you hear the developers around you say, well, if AI is going to write the code and I'm just reviewing it, like, what am I really here for? And I think for a lot of us, I can speak for myself. Coming into tech was a huge shift. I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. I was really lost career-wise for a while. And coming into technology and like even getting into QA and finding out that's a job. As I like to tell my kids, you break stuff for fun. Like and a paycheck. Like, this is great. And then kind of the idea that, oh, well, now you can hand those skills off. And I worked really hard. I invested money, I invested time, I invested, a lot of energy into learning the skills that I have. And so I think for me personally, there's, I am a little bit, I'll just say bullheaded, where I'm like, no, that's mine. My 5-year-old comes up and she's like, no, like, this is what I do. So I have to recognize that inner part of myself. But then also, I think there's like so much going on, right? Where it's like, one, are your feelings valid? First, like, if you're, and we won't limit it to grief. There can be grief, there can be fear, there can be just nervousness, or again, like, I'll say, I have to daily, I feel like, ask questions that may seem dumb. And then here's yet another thing where, okay, I'm completely dumb in this area. Reaching out to someone, asking for guidance. And so there's that. There's like, are my feelings valid? And then also, once you're willing to actually validate your feelings, it's just hard. It's hard to feel like, if you're frustrated where you are, or frustrated with the culture that you're in, or even just the tech itself. Like, there's plenty of, we hear about how AI just kind of destroys the environment. It's like, and I'm not saying it does. I do work to be neutral with AI. I want to implement it thoughtfully, because everything we do affects the environment at any point. Like, fast fashion, like, that's a whole nother topic, but it's a very similar example. So yeah, I think maybe, I mean, I could go on in a lot of different directions, but I think just even like validating the feelings, I think that's like step one. So it's one part of it.
Absolutely right. And you make a really good point. It's just like, we can choose to like bury ourselves in the frustration and or even pretend we're not frustrated or annoyed or like there's something there. But actually, of course, our feelings are valid. Like we're humans, for goodness sake. Like we can and should accept those feelings, whatever they are. Like you described, grief, fear, nervousness, feeling dumb. Like those are difficult feelings to accept and acknowledge and go, oh, these are real. And I think they're all completely valid, and we as humans and fellow community members should acknowledge that of each other, that we're all going on different journeys and we're all experiencing the whole roller coaster that is this new world. And how we navigate it is hard. You also made me think about a sense of identity. And like when someone takes someone's sense of identity away, that's like flipping heck. Like as you said, I've worked hard at this. This is who I am. I've changed my life, and now I am this, and I've done well doing what I've done. I've got to this stage in my career. For an industry to change so rapidly to impact that identity is like, that's hard, right? That is really hard. So it's like, acknowledging it makes complete sense. It really does.
I had a thought and then it like fell off. So I'm hoping it comes back to me. But yeah, we'll keep going, and hopefully whatever thought I have will show up. Decide to get out of bed. But yeah, it is. I do feel like it is very important to feel those feelings. I was actually thinking about how there is a part of, I don't know if it's just really bad psychology that's out there that you see online, or but I think for a while now I've been just trying to make myself feel better. Like I can't change this, so I'm going to sit in the sunshine for 20 minutes, which is great, and I highly recommend, except for those that are really hot right now. Like you may want to avoid it. But it gets to a point where you can only make yourself better, feel better so much. And that in itself is a way of avoidance, even if you're not doing anything illegal. Like, but it's like I found myself just, journaling, being out in the sunshine. Oh my gosh, what I started reading this book called The Joy Diet by Martha Beck. And it's just like all these joyful, wonderful things you can do yourself. And in the end, you can still avoid that thing that's causing you so much stress. And so, there was just one day recently where I was just like, okay, I'm just going to be sad today. Like, because part of the Joy Diet is to do one brave thing a day. And so my brave thing was like, I'm going to be sad because there's been a lot happening. And by the end of the day, it was just like I had received even more information about my life. And I was like, okay, I need to make a change. I need to do something different. And so, and then that's like the really hard stuff, right? When you can't go on in the way that you've been going on, no matter how much you try to make yourself feel better about something.
Good on you, Judy, for sharing that. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing that. It's really powerful. That's very brave in of itself. So if you want the brave one, you can tick that off for today. I say that lightly. I'm saying that with respect. It's more just, I love that concept to do something brave each day. Bring joy, whatever that may look like. That's really cool. That is a very cool concept.
Yeah.
Give that one
Been
a go
helpful.
for sure.
I do see that Chris Pratt is off stage with us. So
yeah, let's bring Chris up on stage. It's good to
Yeah.
see Chris joining us. Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
I'll press the button. You have joined us. Welcome.
Oh, awesome. I just wanted to say hello and like let everyone know I'm okay. Because it's just like I seem to have just disappeared for about 3 months, right? And I'm fine, yeah. So yeah, I just want to say hello because I've missed a couple of chapter meets for London. So yeah, lots have happened really. I've sort of changed jobs, so I sort of finished a job and then had a nice long holiday afterwards, between jobs, and just sort of forgot about everything, and then started a new role, and obviously it's quite intense getting into a new role. So, but now I'm at this point now. I'm like, no, I need my community fix now, right? I need to be getting out there again and seeing people and doing stuff and getting this blog. We're talking about writing. I've got so much stuff in draft on my blog, and I just need to get it out there. So, so yeah, I just wanted to say hello and say I'm looking forward to getting back involved.
Wonderful, Chris. It's good to see you. And this is a cool thing, right? With the MoTaverse, people can like step away for a little bit, and then they can come back, and it's kind of up to them, what that looks like, how long that is, etc. So welcome back.
Thank you. I just turned the fan off in case it's.
Oh yeah, there was a bit of wind picking up, but it was actually quite cooling. It's like, oh yeah.
No, exactly. So yeah, there's a few things I want to be sort of getting stuck into. There's obviously a number of new challenges around my new role, so it's definitely leaning into the community, doing some reading, and getting stuck into one of the certificates I've got my eye on. So yeah, getting back out there again. Really looking forward to it.
Chris, I do want to encourage you, because you mentioned that you have lots of drafts, but you haven't hit publish on them yet. What I tell myself sometimes is just the adage that done is better than good. Because it's like, I know for me, there is that feeling or idea of like, oh, I want this to be good. I want it to be this or that. It's like, it just needs to be done.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think as I'm quite new to writing online, it's like I want to get it right, and you want to create the right impression, and you don't want to look silly and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's absolutely a thing. You just got to get stuff out there. I think yes, we have to hit publish. And move onwards. Yeah, no, definitely. So no, I've got so much sitting there, literally probably about 10 posts. So it's like I need to push go.
Yep.
No, it's awesome.
You can even like schedule those too, like put them on the calendar and just like pick one and be like, okay, like read it over and just be like, it's fine. I mean, sometimes you just have to say like, it's fine. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, exactly. But no, I really like writing, and I do find it really therapeutic. I think other people have just sort of touched on that, and it is so great for just thinking things through and consolidating learnings. I've got a series of posts that I want to put out, about 6 or 7, which consolidate stuff I've learned over about a 6-month period. And it was a real challenge to write them because there was so much information. There was so many inputs that have gone into it. And it's like, right, okay, I can only have 700 or 800 words in a blog post, right? So how do I make this make sense, right? How do I work out what's important? How do I make these nice standalone blogs that people can read and get something from? And then if someone dives in at post 3, will that make sense on its own because they haven't read the others, and it's but that was the biggest thing. The biggest challenge was like, oh my God, there's so many books I've read and courses I've done and people I've spoken to and YouTube videos I've watched, and there was so many things, literally notes everywhere, digital notes everywhere, and you keep reading through it, and trying to make sense of it, and, you know, even trying to use like things like ChatGPT, you throw it all in, and then you just look at it and go, no, it's not consolidating it, and you just go, no, I'm going to write this myself. So yeah, yeah, I'm a real advocate for really working through things ourselves. I think I found chats quite good for discussing ideas, and you know, and sort of gathering what else is out there. But I really don't like its writing, and I don't think if you're going to write a blog, you should be using you know, an AI agent to do it, because he really wants to read that, right? So no, I'm very particular about the way that I write, my style and my tone. But yeah, that big challenge was just like, oh, there's so much information. I wish I had a bigger context window in my head, you know. But no, I got there. It was about 3 days of non-stop, pretty much. You know, a day off and a weekend, and then you just keep hammering through it. But the challenge when you're into this sort of stuff is you can't just stop, can you? Because it's like, if you have like a week break or 2 weeks break, it's so difficult to get back into that flow, you know, where you were and where you were thinking, that sort of stuff. But absolutely right, it is therapeutic, and I'm so pleased that I've got this set. I just need to publish. But anyway, I can see there's other people who are now off stage, so I'll stop wittering and create space. Anyone else wants to come up?
You got this, Chris. Thank you so much for joining us up on stage and for sharing. The community is behind you. We want to encourage you to write, and if you need anyone to review or explore ideas on a call, just let us know.
No, we'll put it out there. Thanks, Simon.
Cool. Cheers, Chris. Stick around and keep part of the conversation. But yes, Judy, should we get Helene up on stage? And then I see Eamon's there as well. Eamon, we'll get you up in a bit as well. So thanks for hanging on tight. But let's press the button. Helene, welcome.
Hello. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, we can hear and see you. How has your week in quality been?
It's been very warm. Yesterday I got really fed up with my hair and just went to get a haircut and cut half of it off, which was a relief. But it's also been a good week. Last Friday I learned that I had won tickets for the AGI testing days in Germany in November. And because Demi, who is on the same team as me, had won them before me, we are now desperately trying to get the third tester on our team tickets as well, so we can go all three. But yeah, that's been my joy for this week. But also, I'm really loving this conversation about grief. And Alexander said something in the chat a little while back about AI stealing the joy of writing code from developers. And that kind of struck me because there's been this focus on the result, like, oh, AI can get us to the results so much quicker. But personally, I love the process. I love getting there, and especially with writing, I also really, really enjoy writing. Like, for me, the joy of writing is not having the finished article or the finished story. It's actually sitting down and planning things out and putting words on paper or on the screen. So for me, that's something I've been struggling with lately, like that grief of the joy of creating being taken away.
Yeah, that comment actually triggered something for me in the fact of like part of my learning, like how I learn is I have to use my hands. I have to be fully present, and I have to bang my head against the desk and read the errors, and and it's like working through that is how I learn. So yeah, I'm really glad that you pointed that out, because it's like I had another conversation with Jessica Mosley, and we asked the question, like, okay, if we're not going to code, like if we're not the ones doing it, where do we get that flow state?
Yeah.
And because I remember the first time I was in a coffee shop and I was in my coding boot camp, and I was working on my project, and it was like everything fell away, and I'd never experienced that before. So yeah, do you feel like that is part of what you're facing as well, or is it different?
Yeah, that there is for me such a joy in figuring things out, and like having a bug or a defect and being like, okay, I'm now going to figure out why this is occurring, and just asking AI, hey, go through the code and tell me what's wrong, feels so different. It's like just that rush of acceleration of like, hey, I found it, this is what's wrong. That is so much fun, and losing that's something I would definitely be grieving for. I'll be honest, I am not a fan of AI. I barely use it myself, and I'm in an organization that has very strict procedures, so I've been able to avoid using it for the most part. But the other day, we had an update, and the update broke a program we regularly use. And so I was talking to this with colleagues, and one of the colleagues was like, yeah, Copilot told me we need to reinstall it. And like, yes, I could have figured that out myself. I did not need Copilot for that. So that kind of struck me as these are things that this colleague would have been able to do themselves before AI. So why was the first instinct now like, oh, I'm going to ask AI, not even think about it? That was a bit frustrating.
I'm hearing you, Helene. I found interesting, I had a conversation with Swatika Visagan earlier this week. Actually, it was yesterday, called for Insights. And she was sharing her experiences testing AI applications and the challenges faced with that. Oh, Helene, I think it might be on your line. There's a bit of a funny background noise.
Oh yeah, the neighbors are doing renovations, so I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, thanks, Helene. I appreciate that. Thanks. And we were talking about like the role of the tester testing AI apps, right? And what I found fascinating was the concept of the role of the tester in that context becoming an AI evaluator. You know, we are going in to make evaluations. We're not testing, we're evaluating, and we are using tools to help judge things. And I wonder if part of the process for us, like, who are concerned about using AI to support what we do as professionals, to develop code, to test code, etc., that the opportunity to test or evaluate AI apps is the way in. So it's not like, it's not using AI to write the code. It's more like, well, this app is got some AI element to it. And that's where it sounded like from the conversation I had, it was very exciting. And there was real challenges, like real nitty gritty, get your hands involved, get stuck in, because it's non-deterministic. There's no concept of pass or fail. Setting up these evaluations like a scoring system, got to tweak it. But it's really about humans making judgments. And it was very interesting. And I wonder, I think there's joy in that, is my point. I think that's what I'm getting to, is can we as professionals find opportunities to work with systems that are AI systems, but not necessarily built with AI? Something to think about. It's more of a rhetorical question, that one. But yes.
I do want to hop in really fast and say that Alexander says we need an MOT-baked LLM so we can refer to Simon says, not Claude says.
Oh boy.
I am down for this. I think this would be great.
See if we can make that happen. That's brilliant. Oh, that's cool. Helene, thank you for joining us on stage. Please do stick around. I'm conscious that we've got probably about 15 or so minutes, and we have Eamon and Adi waiting patiently in the wings. So let's bring Eamon up on stage to jump on in and join the conversation. Eamon, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, can hear you and see you. Welcome.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a new feature to me. It's been that long. I didn't know we were having
Yeah.
cameras.
Yeah, I think this is
Yeah.
maybe, is it week 3 of cameras on, I think, if I remember correctly. So yeah, super new. We thought we'd give it a go. Why not? Break the rules.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's good to be back. I feel like similar to what Chris was saying earlier about kind of being away from the community. It's been a little while for me as well. I even missed the last London chapter because I was feeling pretty run down that day, which sucked, but glad everyone had a good time. Um, yeah, it's been a bit unfortunate to be not as involved as I used to be. A lot of that kind of comes from some busy things that are going on in my life. I had surgery recently. I'm all good. It was a knee surgery, but I'm all good now. And then some other stuff going on. And then work in general has just not been that great recently. And I think it's continued to be not great. This is my first week of work since my manager has moved on to another company, which has been quite interesting. And in terms of things like grief, there are times when I kind of think like, how much longer can I work in this industry? Because it feels like no matter what, people still don't get it, and it's very tiring trying to make people understand. I had a meeting yesterday where I was speaking to some of the leads on my team. Because, like I said, my manager's gone, so I've got some support from a developer who's going to be chipping in with the QA for a little bit. And they kind of asked me, like, how could we get the best out of this person? How can we, like, what do you think we should do going forward? And I basically said, um, we can work together to get through the tickets so we can focus on things like processes and ways of working and so on. Because for me, that's what's more important down the line. And just for extra context, a month or two ago, they introduced a Ready for QA column, which is very controversial. I don't like those. I push back against those, but it got put in against my will. But that's neither here nor there. And this week, I had about 28 tickets assigned to me, which is ridiculous. So my colleague who's going to be jumping in will be able to take half the load on that. And for me, if we can get those tickets down to single digits or what have you, that means we can focus on the things that really matter. Making sure that these things don't happen again, making sure that we have good processes. And I was basically told, like, look, to be honest, the client cares more about delivering this thing, the processes that can come down the line, which basically means we're never doing them because there's always going to be something new. Like I've been in the company for almost a year, and there's always something more important that means that we can't put these processes in. And so I wake up every day and I start work and I just think no one seems to listen to me, no one seems to care, and I feel like a lot of us can relate to that in QA, and I'm sure a lot of us have left the industry as a result of that. So I think that's kind of where I'm at now, where I'm still doing the job, I still enjoy it, and I still enjoy things like this. But having to explain yourself every single day and every single week is quite tiring and quite frustrating. So yeah, that's kind of been my past few months in a nutshell, and kind of why I've not been around as much really.
We hear you, Eamon. I'm sorry to hear things have been tough and that you're not getting listened to, and that folks at your workplace don't seem to care, and you're like constantly having to explain yourself, and day in, day out, it's exhausting, right? That's like just so frustrating, like, because clearly you can add value and do awesome things, like, clearly. And if folks aren't realizing that, you're like, flipping heck, like, you're not getting the best out of me. I'm then annoyed and frustrated and all of that comes with it. So I'm hearing you. And I think to AD's point in the chat, thank you for sharing this, AD. We can't individually be here all the time, but the community is always there when you need it. Absolutely. So I'm glad you joined us today, Eamon, and were able to express yourself the way you just did. We're totally here for you, 100%, right? It's a space to share, grieve, and talk about these things that are frustrating. And we support you in whatever ways you need. It goes without saying, but I'll say it because we have to say it. It's important to say it. So
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And just while I've got a bit of time, I just wanted to ask, like, has anyone ever been able to navigate their way out of a situation like I've just described and been able to turn it around within that company? Or have they had to just leave to get a better situation? Because I would love to be able to turn things around and make the culture better, but keen to hear if anyone's been through that.
Eamon, I just want to chip in here. I don't want to make this about me or any promotion for my blog, but I've had a very similar experience and those sort of frustrations, and I spent about 6 months trying to solve exactly that issue. And that's what I've got quite a long series of blogs all about. I'm quite happy to share the drafts with you, and you can have a spin through and see what you think. But in essence, a lot of it comes down to how we can encourage the seniors to care about what we're doing, because I'm conscious of time, but when we go into these meetings advocating for quality engineering, if what we're saying sounds like more work, it's going to be expensive, it's going to be a distraction from what we ought to be doing, it's very easy for them, for their side of the table, to turn around saying, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, right? It sounds risky, right? So it's about flipping the script so that we talk to the seniors in the way that they see the world, so that we're sharing quality engineering in a way that they understand will drive the business forward, how it will reduce risk, reduce cost, improve productivity, and improve profitability. And I think one of the challenges that we face, and Simon mentioned the Dunning-Kruger effect, unfortunately in the world of testing, there's a lot of people who think, oh yeah, testing is easy. They don't realize what's actually involved. And we kind of get typecast as box checkers. And from a credibility point of view, when we then go and talk to senior leads about big ideas around quality engineering, sometimes there can be a bit of a view of, well, hang on, who the hell are you to tell me how we should run our business better? So it's nuanced, it's complex, and yeah, it's difficult, but I'm quite happy to ping my drafts across, and if you've got any comments and feedback, that would be great.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, Eamon. Hope that helps.
Eamon, I can quickly share a story, and I'm also conscious we got Adi Stokes waiting patiently backstage, so thank you for waiting, Adi. I was on a contract once. I was set to be there for 6 months to come in as a quality engineer. I lasted about 3 or 4 months. I tried to change staff, tried to influence, and I just couldn't. And there was no way. Leadership were just not interested. And when I quit, I said, this is bullshit. Literally, I said that. I said, you are wasting your money paying me. You're not getting the best out of me. I can offer so much more. You're treating your staff like shit. It is not good enough. So I refuse to work here and I'm out. And it was a hard conversation, but I just gave it straight to this manager. And he was like, how dare you say this? There's no evidence of that. And I gave him a whole load of evidence. So we had a proper argument, and he was like, it's disgraceful. And I was like, well, you're saying it all, mate. And then I had a chat with another senior leader, and I said, you are pushing your staff, but you're not listening to them, you're not encouraging them, et cetera, et cetera. It was just a toxic environment. And I'm like, no way. So I couldn't. That was one example where I just could not influence anyone at all. I could influence my peers and my colleagues because we were all learning from each other. It was a lot of good exploratory testing techniques that we were teaching each other at the time. But the culture of the organization, there was no way. And that was, going up the ranks. And I wasn't in a leadership position. I was a hands-on quality engineer position. So yeah, I just went, sod you, I'm out of here. And that's what I did. And it was very, yes, it wasn't like, oh, okay, I now need to land another gig. But it was risky in that sense, of course, but I was like, I can't waste my time here. It's just, there's better places I could work at. I could have higher impact on this planet in another place. And that's the decision I made.
Yeah,
I hope that story helps in one way. But yes, it was, one of those very difficult situations.
Yeah, and I think just quickly, I think that's where I'm kind of my head's at now. It's like, what can you do here? Can you do anything here? Or should you just, take your talents elsewhere? If only the market was better, right?
Yeah, that is indeed the challenge for sure. Appreciate you sharing, Eamon. Judy, any thoughts on this before we invite AD up? I'm just conscious that, yes, you might have something to share. Please do go for it.
Well, I have thoughts, but I think it would be better in a moment or something like that because, I have lots, but we also want to be conscious of time. So I'll update with a moment.
Cool. Let's get AD Stokes. It'd be good to see AD. Yay! AD, welcome.
Hello, my fellow humans. I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I've missed a few which I need to catch up on. So I've had a very busy week in quality catching up. So I've got like unread LinkedIn messages. I haven't caught up on Slack yet. Never mind anything else. Lots of unread emails. I don't work. I don't have a job. How I've got so many unread emails? Can't all be spam. So I just wanted to say hi. Look at my tan. Look at my tan. I don't tan much, but I've got a very white spot where my watch usually goes. I've literally taken my watch off to show you my tan. So there we go. There you go, Judy. Look how tan that is. Hopefully it's picking it up. Right, so now I'll stop bragging about my holiday. So I'll go through as quickly as I possibly can. What Eamon was saying about the grief of banging your head against a brick wall, trying to change something that don't want to be changed, or trying to advocate for quality engineering. I've felt that a lot when it comes to accessibility, having the same conversations over and over again. It's a known. It's something we know about. It's something we know how to approach. I wrote how to fix 96% of all web accessibility things in a bloody article. Like I've given as loads, and I get really frustrated. I think it's Gary said the thing that keeps him going is the little wins along the way. He's advocating outside to other people going risk, and it's the little wins that keep him going. And I think that's something you have to think about. Is we had a whole thing about wins of the week and jotting down every time you have a win, write it down. Create a record, even if it's just to cheer yourself up when you're in a down place. Don't have to make it public, but write it down. And the other thing I would say is there's a balance between caring about your job and your role and not caring about yourself or the company, in balancing when do I need to ask permission and advocate and when do I need to just do something. And I've been in literally both positions. I wrote Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap parody on a test manager who was up to no good about a 3-year period in my life when this test manager, the first thing he did, and you're all going to be shocked at this if you've not heard this story before, the first thing he did was measure by bugs. He measured developers on the amount of bugs leaked into testing and testers on the amount of bugs found. So guess what? Nothing was a bug. Everything was an argument, and quality went into the toilet for 6 months after that. I just said, this is stupid. I'm not going to raise any bugs. I'm just going to go talk to the developer and go, I found this. I stopped using the word bug deliberately. I said, this is unexpected behavior. Do you think it should be doing this? What's the rationale behind it? I just had a conversation. The result of that was I was called into the test manager's office and given a dressing down for, and this is a direct quote, wasting developers' valuable time through talking to them. Right? I just carried on. I got called in the office so many times, you will not believe it. And I just went, okay, yeah, whatever. All right, fine. Walked out, carried on doing exactly the same thing. Knowledge is power. Do you know, apart from gross dismissal, gross acts that will get you dismissed, it's called gross dismissal, something that gets you instantly dismissed, there's a whole HR process. You have to be talked to. Then you have to be given a written warning. Then you have to be talked to again, saying you're in risk of a final warning. Then you are given a final warning. You're still not sacked. It's a final warning. That gives you can do exactly what you want for about 12 months, right? And you will get paid and you will be happy. So do exactly what you want for the next 12 months. Look for jobs on the side if you really want to. Do exactly what you want for 12 months, but gather the wins, gather the evidence. Over a period of 2 years, I gathered a ton of evidence. I had a file about 2 inches thick. I printed everything off, right? I got my final written warning letter. I went to the head of IT. I booked a meeting with her. I sat down for an hour. I went through all the evidence. I said, here's everything I've done and why nothing I've done has impacted live. Here's what everybody else in the department done. Here's the 27 live incidents you've had over the last 2 years. Which one of us is doing the better process? Within 3 months, that test manager was sacked and I was promoted. So it can be a long... Remember, there's little battles, there's a war. Right? You're not going to win the war tomorrow. You're not going to win the war in 12 months. I didn't win the war in 2 years. I got the test manager thing, but processes took a long time to change. And I had to advocate and advocate and advocate. And this is somewhere I stayed for nearly 15 years. And I think and it was a hell of a long journey. And I moved in and out of roles and in and out of testing and stuff like that. But I left that place in a hell of a sight better place than I left it. And I had to be miserable for 12 months before I stopped caring about myself personally and whether I'm going to lose a job. And that was like a ton of weight lifted off. So there's a massive community of people who will point you to jobs, who will help you find stuff or review CVs and stuff like that. It's not guaranteed, but there is a safety net of some description around you. And just do what you want to do. Do the things that make you joy. If somebody else is doing something that you have to work with, persuade them, advocate them. Say, let's try this. Just bear with me. Let's try this for a couple of days. Let's have an hour session doing something. Like, find little ways of just bringing people into your way of thinking. But like to say, you're never going to change a culture. But you can change individuals a little bit at a time. And if doing that makes you happy and makes you more engaged and more feel better about your day when you're finished, then do it for you. Don't do it for them. Any company that says, yeah, we're a family here, like, it's the family that will sack you at a moment's notice, right? There's family and there's family, right? Family don't kick you out of the house with nowhere to live just because the bottom line says a number, right? So you can have good colleagues that become friends, but the company isn't a family. So it's somebody you work for, you're employed for, you're paid to do a job. Do it in a way that makes you happy. And I've rattled on a little bit. I was going to try and do that really quickly, but sorry. I get passionate about people who are unhappy in jobs because I've gone through a personal breakdown. I've had years being unhappy. I've well documented it. Read my thing on breakdown of personal experience if you want more information on that. But yeah, I'm a very strong advocate of you do you. Like everybody else will either fit around, they will get it, or they won't. And whatever you do, you won't change that. But you changing you to try and make that better it won't work. It will never work. You be you. Every person is a complete individual. You are unique. Nobody's you. Nobody has your experiences. Nobody has your thoughts. Nobody has your way of looking at the world. There are people who have similars, but nobody has your thing. So you do you, because nobody else will do you. And I'll definitely stop rattling on that.
Really appreciate it, AD. Oh, wow. What an experience, right?
And I've even bought my shirt up so you don't have to go, it's a chest.
we appreciate that, AD. We very much appreciate that. What I can say is I was reflecting, like, it was the good kind of troublemaking in a positive way. Right? That's what I was thinking of. And then it also what you shared made me think of the right kind of caring. And I was like, is there such a thing as Goldilocks caring? So you don't care too much, you don't care too little, but you care just right. It's like that sweet spot. Maybe that's what it got me thinking about. So Porridge caring, Louise Woodhams. That could be the title of this podcast today. Who knows? Porridge caring. I love it. Well, folks, that feels like saying the word porridge caring feels like the right time to wrap up today's episode of This Week in Quality. Judy, any final thoughts before I wrap things up, or we wrap things up?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining and for sharing. I know this is a more vulnerable topic, but I feel like we've had a lot of good, meaningful discussion. Yeah, this is really wonderful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, folks. I'm loving all the activity in the chat when people get stuck in. It's great. And to have, I think this is a record, actually, 6 of us up on stage with camera on. So we've broken another record today. So that's a win to celebrate. But yeah, please do enjoy the rest of your day. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks so much, folks. We will see you around the MoTaverse soon. Bye for now.
Have wonderful weekends. Bye, humans.